I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right, so you all should see my PowerPoint. If you are having a trouble seeing this PowerPoint, please type in the chat and let me know. But today's topic is how to become a real estate agent. Now, this is going to be specific to Ohio. Each state has different requirements, and you can hold licenses in different states. You have to take the test in those states, and Ohio is one of the more aggressive places, and we'll go through that breakdown of what the actual requirements are, but a little bit more aggressive. Now, there are some states that are a little harder than Ohio, but Ohio is one of the higher requirements. Places like Michigan, I believe it's like 30 hours or so. So in this picture here, if this is your first time joining or meeting me, or your first introduction to me, my name is Andrea Wilson. I'm actually the broker and co-owner here at Brickhouse Realty. In the picture standing next to me is actually my husband. He operates as the CEO of Brickhouse Realty. We are a husband and wife team. We like to call ourselves a family-owned business. We're hoping to bring our kids into this business, obviously minority-owned, and we don't have a lot of minority owned brokerages right here in the Cleveland market. And so we like to try to bring awareness to everyone to let them know that you want to support your local small business and minority owned business, because they're typically the ones that are doing the work within the community. We do a lot of give back and work within the community itself. And it helps when we have the support of others actually using our business, using the agents with their office. And when you become an agent, that you join our brokerage. So who is Brickhouse Realty? We're the fastest growing minority-owned real estate brokerage right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, we do service the entire state of Ohio. If you know someone down in more southern Ohio, or like Columbus, Cincinnati, even Toledo, we would love to talk to them as well. We are starting to expand out of just this Cleveland area and market. So we would love to have those conversations and greatly appreciate any connection that can be made there. So there's two types of real estate agents. Either you're a real estate broker or you're a real estate agent. And so the difference is, a real estate broker is what I am. So I had to start out as an actual real estate agent. So everyone starts out as a real estate agent, at least here in the state of Ohio. When you go to places like Illinois, you may hear everyone, or Colorado, everyone is called a real estate broker, and then they have a managing real estate broker. But so everyone here in the state of Ohio starts as a licensed real estate agent. So a real estate agent is someone who takes the classes and passed the state examination to get a license to sell property. They completed the educational requirements to cover the specific state's real estate laws and practices. So again, we'll get into what all classes are required in just a moment. So a real estate agent is what everyone starts out as, and they have to work under a real estate broker or brokerage. So a real estate broker is an experienced real estate professional who has met the state requirements to own, manage, or operate a real estate company. Licensing requirements usually include experience in the industry as a real estate agent, advanced coursework, and you have to take another exam. So when you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, you may decide that you want to pick a niche market. So traditionally, there's two types of primary niche markets. That's going to be a residential real estate agent or a commercial real estate agent. So how we define the two types of real estate is residential is anything that is 4 units or less. So a 4-unit apartment building or less, so 4-unit of housing or less, is considered residential real estate, right? Anything that has 5 units or more in there is going to be considered commercial. And then you have your big office spaces and, retail locations and everything on there. So if you decide to go the route of commercial, then you probably want to talk to a real estate brokerage that has the training and support system and tools that you will need to operate as a commercial real estate agent. And then the same thing, if you're going residential, then you want to make sure that they have the tools and support that you're going to need as a residential real estate agent. So there's different areas. People always think of getting their real estate license like, well, I don't want to show a traditional buyer or seller a house. And you don't have to. A commercial real estate agent focuses on those commercial real estate deals. Commercial real estate deals oftentimes can take a lot longer to close on, just because they're larger. I mean, they can be $1 million, $2 million or more dollars in these deals. So sometimes those deals, just preparing the contract, usually attorneys are involved in that, can take much longer. You may be working on that one commercial deal for a year. And also sometimes the commission payouts on those commercial deals can be split up and not paid in one increment, but it could be a much larger check. Residential typically takes 30 to 40 days to close out on. So you're able to receive a paycheck much quicker than you can in commercial. Not to say commercial has to take a year, but traditionally it may take a little bit longer. So that real estate agent versus realtor. So a lot of times people don't understand what the difference is or what it really means. So everyone that takes the real estate exam is a real estate agent. And going back to the last slide when we were talking about commercial versus residential realtor or real estate agent, everyone is taking the same test. There's no specific test for commercial or a specific test for residential. You take the same test, and then once you pass the test, you move into that niche market that you're looking to do. However, when everyone passes the test, you automatically become a real estate agent, right? So then what happens is, as realtors, we belong to residential realtors. We belong to a trade organization, the National Association of Realtors. And so their trademark is actually Realtor. So you actually do not become a realtor unless you have unless you pay your dues to be part of the trade organization. So you will see that if they are selling residential real estate, then most likely they are going to be a realtor, because in order to have access to the MLS, you have to be part of a trade organization. So by default, you become a realtor. So I think this is a good point in time to really share with you what the expectation is once you get your license. So taking the classes obviously will have a fee. We'll talk about that. But then once you get your license, you're going to have these dues to be part of this trade organization. And then we need access to the MLS. So after you pass your test, you're going to need to make sure that you have some sort of savings as part of this. To register as a realtor and join that trade organization, we pay those dues every January, and it's about $650. Every January we pay that. So when you come in, it's prorated. If you pass your test here in November, then you would just be paying for November and December. So it's prorated, but you want to plan that every year you pay $650. That's across the board. That doesn't matter what company that you're with. If you're operating as a residential realtor, you're going to pay those fees. The other fee that we're going to pay is our MLS dues. We pay that twice a year. We pay that in February, $240, and we pay it again around September 1st, another $240. So make sure you put that in the back of your mind that you're going to have this fees as soon as you pass your test. So you want to have a nice cushion buffer, and you're going to want some money to market yourself, right? So commercial realtors, you heard me say residential, commercial realtors typically have a separate trade organization that they belong to and pay those dues. I can't tell you what those dues are, but then they have a different system where commercial properties are usually listed. Commercial properties could be in the MLS, but those larger scale properties are typically in a different platform. So why does your brokerage matter? So if we take it back a couple slides, I talked about every real estate agent has to work under a broker. So once you finish your classes, you're going to receive 4 certificates. The classes are broken down into 4 sections, and we'll go through those 4 sections shortly. So you'll have those certificates, and then you'll have to make application to the state to sit for your exam. But in order to do that, you have to have a broker sign off on your application. In my opinion, this is where folks tend to go wrong. They don't do enough research about their brokerage. Maybe you're going with a larger brand name, and so that's what led you there. But my suggestion would be to interview small, large, virtual brokerages, so you get a feel of what you're looking for and come up with a good list of questions to also ask. So you must work under a brokerage. The monthly fees, you want to ask what the monthly fees. All brokerages have some different type of model. Some have fees, some don't have fees. We don't have monthly fees here, right? So training. When you become licensed, training is going to be very important. The classes that you're going to take is just going to teach you how to be legal. It's not going to teach you the sales or the business side of real estate. One thing I want you guys to remember, that when you get licensed and you become a real estate agent, you just started a business. I think people get into becoming a real estate agent, but they forget that they've started a business. And just like any other business, you have to market yourself, you have to put your name out there, you have to network, you have to have marketing dollars. So you have to track your income and expenses on there. So when you get your license, you're going to want to make sure you're with a brokerage that's going to offer training for you to support you and your business, right? And so that support is going to be that extra other piece of it, is what type of support are you going to get in order to help grow your business, especially if you've never done sales before. And then culture to me is very important, right? You want to be at a place. Now, traditionally, now the way things go, we do everything primarily virtually. But when that office comes together, when you meet with everyone, or just the fact of you have a question, maybe your office manager or broker is not available, can you pick up the phone and call another agent in the office? Or do they kind of shun you and feel that they're too busy? That's why I love my Brickhouse Realty family and agents, because we truly operate as a family. So not to say that everyone is just BFFs, right? But when we come together, we have a good time. And it's almost like we have this fellowship. We eat, we have a good time, we share information. We want to see each other succeed in this business. And I think that part is so important. You could be winning over there and making all this money, but are you reaching back and helping a fellow agent that's in the position where you once were? And that's the culture we like to bring here as well. So the benefits of being a realtor is that a flexible schedule, unlimited earning potential, joy and satisfaction that come with helping people, and you are in control of your own destiny. Being in control of your own destiny could be a positive, but it could be a negative. What I find oftentimes, if you are used to working a 9-to-5 job where your manager or boss told you, you have to be here 9 a.m. every day from 9 to 5, this is where you need to be. Most people will get up and go to work without fail, right? We occasionally call off, but we're going to make sure that if we had to leave work early or we called off, we're going to go into work that next day, either early, stay late, or we're going to do whatever was required of us to get our work done. Now, what I find is when people are in business for themselves, they don't treat their own business the way they treated it for someone else. So you said that you were going to make 30 calls today, right? And during the day, some things happen, you got disrupted and you weren't able to get all 30 calls done. So what do most people do? It's 5 o'clock, they had to leave, go pick up the kids or do whatever they had to do. And they never finished their calls for the day, right? And when the next day rolls around, they didn't make it a priority to go in early or stay late to make those additional calls, right? We have to start treating our own business the same as if when we're working for someone else. And that is a big mistake that I see that self-employed people begin to do. Or in the beginning, you're disciplined, right? And then the flexibility and no one's checking for you kind of kicks in. And so you just get a little relaxed. Before you know it, no deals are closing. Then your mind starts saying, maybe this isn't the business for you. You shouldn't be doing this. You need to go back and get another job. And so mindset is going to matter in this when you start going through this journey of being a real estate agent. And then once you get your license, mindset is so important, and making sure that you have a system in place so that without fail, every day you're treating your business as if you worked at that 9 to 5. So if you are someone that feels like you need to be locked in, or you need someone there holding your hand constantly, I hate to say this, but real estate may not be for you if you cannot have that self-starter, self-motivation process. Now, in office, we have weekly trainings, we have calls, we have information, but you still have to show up. And there's not going to be anyone that's going to die harder for our own business than we were when we were working for someone else's business. So here's the requirements for Ohio, right? The pre-licensing requirement in Ohio, in order to get your real estate license in Ohio, you would need to complete 120 hours of real estate pre-licensing courses that will cover the real estate principles and practices, which is 40 hours, Ohio real estate law, including instructions in civil rights, housing discrimination, and segregation problems, another 40 hours, real estate appraisal, 20 hours, and real estate finance, another 20 hours. So this is what you're going to be covering. It is broken out into these 4 sections, 120 hours. It doesn't matter what school you go to, every agent, it doesn't matter if you're working residential, commercial, every agent has to go through these 120 classroom hours in order to get your license, right? Now, there's places where you can kind of fast track this. So the license qualification process, the Ohio Division of Real Estate License Department of Commerce issues you the following license: real estate person, broker, and appraiser. To receive your state license, you must meet the following requirements: be at least 18 years of age, be a United States citizen or legal alien, be honest, truthful, of good reputation, not have been convicted of a felony or crime of moral turpitude, not have violated any civil rights, laws regarding real estate within the past 2 years as determined by a court of law, or violated any rules of the Ohio Division of Real Estate. 5, have a high school diploma or equivalent, complete the education requirements, pay the applicable fees, and then pass the examination. One of the questions I get time to time, people will ask if they have a felony. I don't know if anyone here has that. Don't need to talk about that here, but if you have a felony, can you get your license? Number 4 says not have been convicted of a felony, criminal moral turpitude. So what that means is typically if it was a crime that was from maybe like theft or dealing with money, they typically will turn that person down. but you can have a felony just on your application. You want to make sure that you are truthful and put that information on there, because they do fingerprints and background checks and everything. So you want to put that on there. Now, I will even say this though, even if you had something that was that involved money or whatever, what we were just talking about, when you submit your application, they may deny it, but then you can appeal it. And I have seen situations where you have to go in front of the magistrate and you plead your case. It was 20 years ago, and then they have gone ahead and approved it. So don't rule it out. If you have a situation, don't rule it out that you can get your license. It just may take a little bit longer and a little bit more work to do. So about the test, the Ohio pre-licensing exam questions, a total of 120 multiple choice questions. So 80 questions on the national portion and 60 correct required to pass, 40 questions on the state portion, 30 correct required to pass. So the application for the test itself is $81. You have your broker complete the application with you. They sign, you mail it into the state. The state is going to send you back a letter giving you an okay to take the test. You then schedule your test. So once you think you're just about ready, so you finish the classes and receive your certificates, and when you think you're just about ready, you can mail that into the state. That doesn't reserve your testing. You then set your testing date, and I want to say it's another $40 for the testing facility. And there's a facility in Middleburg Heights or Akron area where you go to take the test. You take the test, it's done in 2 portions. You sit at the computer, you do it back to back, same day, back to back. At the end of it all, at both sections of it, the screen is going to pop up and let you know if you pass or fail. Then you leave the room. The lady in the room will give you a form, and it will just say the same thing that the screen said. If you failed one portion of the test, then you only have to go back and take the portion that you failed. However, you still have to pay the $81, that original full $81, and you still have to pay the $40 to the testing facility. And the state is gracious enough to allow you to pay that $81 as many times as you choose, because they want the money, right? So you can take the test. I've seen people on average 3-4-ish times taking the test in order to pass, right? 3 to 4 times of taking it in order to pass. The reason why it takes people, I believe, that long to pass the test is they have too many distractions, not taking the test serious. They took the class, they get eager, and you're like, I'm just going to take the test and see if I can try to wing it, and then they fail. The problem with doing it this way, you're paying these folks a lot of money, $81. We'll just call it about $100 a pop, $120 a pop between taking the application, right? The problem is it's too expensive to do it this way. The second thing is when you start failing that test, you're creating self-doubt for yourself. Maybe I'm not supposed to be in real estate. Maybe I really don't want this anymore. More time is passing, more other thoughts are going in your mind, and you start to tell yourself that this is not what I wanted to do anyway, so you give up on it. We don't want that. We want you to focus in. You made the commitment to do this. You're going to time block out for the 120 hours, study for it, and then from there, go ahead and take the test when you're ready, not 6 months after completing the classes, right? Right after, within a month's time frame of getting your certificates, taking that classes, buckling down and really studying for this. So how to pass the test? You want to study the vocabulary words. You want to time block your study hours. Take a break from social media and cut back on TV and going out. Read all of the material. Use YouTube as a resource. Take the practice tests over and over again. If you get a 90% or better after taking that practice test, boom, you take it 5 times in a row, you're getting 90%. You are ready to sit for the exam. Some of the tips that I also give is create some flashcards. Now they sell flashcards that you can, that with the vocabulary words on it already. But I've always learned from instructors that I had and classes that I take and going through college. And it's always something about writing those words out that it does something for our memory when we do that. The real estate test, it is really big on the vocabulary words. The reason why you want to make sure you understand the vocabulary words, because there are a lot of words that either sound the same or it's backwards, right? To give an example of this, there's a mortgage or and a mortgage e. Mortgage or and mortgage e. Automatically, because of how we're just trained and taught with other things, we believe that the mortgagee is like the buyer of the house, when the mortgagee is the actual bank, right? The mortgagor is the buyer. That's just backwards from how we are taught with ors on the end and ee. So if you write that down and start going over that over and over again, and you memorize that, when you go to take the test, when they try, because they will give you a trick question around something like that, you know what the meaning is. So it's much easier for you to read through all of the other ones and determine which answer is right and wrong. There's a lot of words like that. There's a lot of words that you're going to be like, well, that just sounds backwards. We just have to pass the test. That's all we're focusing on, is passing the test. How to sell real estate, how to stay totally legal, and everything else you're going to learn, at least if you're at my office, after you pass the test. We just need you to get the pass the test, and we'll figure out everything else after that. So we do have the classes. I'm not saying this is where you have to go. But we do have access. We're affiliates to the CE shop, which runs through Davis College. The classes is about $999. That is the lowest tier package. They have a couple other packages that offer some additional like packages on there, your 20-hour post-licensing courses and stuff. Again, you do not have to go through this. And I'm going to explain the difference here. With this package here, with these classes here, this is for the individual that is going to be disciplined to log on yourself, read through the materials, take the test to get through those 120 hours. There's no instructor following up with you. It's a self-paced. You have 24-hour access to the material. You go read through it, you take the online test, and you complete your certificates, and you kind of study on your own. Not everyone can do that. Some people really they need an instructor on there. So if you were to go with this plan, it's roughly about $1,000. There is a payment plan option. So either you can pay the full $1,000, or you can break it into 3 payments of the $342 if you choose. Now, the number one provider for real estate classes is going to be Hondros College. Hondros is here locally. There's one over in Independence, Columbus, all these different places. The difference with Hondros is they have different time frames where you could take the class. They have weekend classes, they have weekly classes, evening classes. So you can schedule those within your schedule of how you work and whatever you need. The classes that I just showed you on here, you have 24-hour access, so you can access that whenever. The classes at Hondros are going to be instructor led. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this part. I believe a portion of them are also hybrid. So you can, they have Zoom, the instructor is on Zoom with you. Those classes are going to be a little bit more expensive. I believe like $1,700. And actually someone recently told me they use Klarna, I believe it is now, that gives you a payment plan option with them as well. So if you need an instructor, do you want to go through Hondros College? If you are okay being a self-taught or self-paced learner and disciplined enough, then you can look at this here. And I will send this out after as well. So what to expect? Expect to do well no matter what roadblocks are placed in your way. I am a big believer that we can do anything that we tell ourselves that we want to do. If you said that you want to be and are going to be a successful real estate agent, then you can absolutely be that. And no one can tell you anything different. It's us telling our minds something other, where we have this like imposter syndrome, or we put these thoughts in our mind that we're not supposed to be here, or we're not supposed to be doing this. So you want to make the decision before getting started of, do you really want to get into real estate? If the answer is yes, then that's what we're going to do, and then be committed to that process. So why choose Brickhouse Realty? We're a family agent, better commission splits, monthly and daily training, teach you how to build your own book of business. Sorry, typo there, but teach you how to build your own book of business. What that means is a lot of brokerages will try to place you on a team. So, I mean, a team is not all that bad. However, the thing that you want to consider about being on a team is you have a team split when you get paid a commission check, and you have an office split. So you've done all of this work to receive such a low amount that it's not worth it. The other things, a lot of times you lose your own personal identity because you are helping someone else build their business instead of you building business day one. What makes it attractive to people is because they tell you, I'm going to give you leads. So people are looking for the shortcut to doing some deals instead of being a little bit more patient and just building your own book of business. So we're going to give you a personalized growth plan to get you going day one, no monthly fees, and we are absolutely here for you. So what are we missing? We are missing just you from being here. Just you being here and wanting to get started and making the commitment and saying, yes, this is what you want to do. Now, you may be looking to do this beginning of the year. So to set the kind of expectation of time frame that you're going to need to get through the 120 hours. From my experience, of dealing with people, if you're working another job and have family life and lots going on, you should plan for about 3 months of getting through the material and taking this test. About 3 months is what you need to plan for. The reason why it takes about 3 months is because, and that's with working on this about 10 to 15 hours per week. We have busy lives, right? So if we're working on this only in the evening, and then there's distractions throughout, it's going to take you a little bit longer. So you can get through it faster. You can get through it in a month's time if you get through those 120 hours. But on average, what I see, it takes people about 3 months. So now is the perfect time to get started if you want to be up and running by the new year. And that is all that I have. I will take some questions, but if you have questions, just want to say thank you for joining today. This is our website here as well, our office phone number. If you're not following us on Facebook, we do have a private Facebook group called Community Cares. And then make sure you're following Mark and I. He changed his name. His is Brickhouse Mark now. And then myself, she's a Brickhouse on Instagram. And I'm going to get out of here and let's see if there's any questions here.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
My phone's talking to me.
I'm not sure I understand.
What's my watch? Sorry about that. What is the second month MLS fees? What is a second month MLS fees are due? September. So we pay MLS dues in February, $240, and then September 1st, $240. They just break it out into 2 payments. It's just how they do that. And so it's disheartening because what ends up happening, especially that 650, it's like the hardest time of year when we have to pay our MLS dues because it's the end of the year, traditionally a slower time frame for real estate agents and closing deals. Because the holidays, people don't want to sell or they stop looking because they're traveling or whatnot. And then in January, and then Christmas, and then you have credit card bills or bills from that. And so then in January, our dues, we have to pay that 650. So what happens as a brokerage, if agents have not paid their dues and they are on your roster, the ACAR will shut the entire office down. As crazy as that sounds, that's how they make that push for brokerages to focus in and make sure their agent pays the money. So you may come across an agent that doesn't have the money, and traditionally what happens is their license is then sent back to the state. Now, when your license is sent back to the state, you can pay the money and get it reinstated. But if you send your license back to the state to kind of put them on hold, you do have to remember to still take those continuing education classes, or else you can lose your license. So once you complete the real estate course class, then do we contact your brokerage to move forward, or do we take our exam first and then you'll contact us? So I like to go along the way, and I like to be in. Am I frozen here for you guys? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm frozen on there. But I like to be involved through the entire process. So when you are thinking about taking a class, I could share the link with you if you want to take the classes that we have. There is a 5-day practice session, so you can see if it is for you or not. You can do that. But I like to be involved, so I want you to let me know. So you do have to reach out to me if you want to come with our brokerage, because your broker has to sign your application to sit for the test. So you come and talk to us first, we fill out the application, you send that in, and then I still like to know when you actually schedule your test. There's a gentleman in our office as well. So once you complete the classes and you want some help passing the test, we do have in-office help to help you out with that as well. So as far as the practice test, there is the facility that administers the test. They're called PSI. I'm gonna type it in the chat, PSI. So PSI is who administrates it, and they actually have a practice test. They make you pay like $20 for it. From my understanding, it's questioned from like older exams, but it'll give you the style of test and everything that it is. But PSI is where you would get that. So when you send your application into the state, they send you back the letter. It'll give you all of the information of where to take the test and the website and everything to take the practice exam. So should I click on the careers link before completing the course? I'm a little over 2/3 complete. So you can't do the application until you have all of your certificates. So once you have your certificates, at that point, we will just complete your application and then get that out to the state. And the state is going to require that they do fingerprints. You get your fingerprints done at like the license bureau. They have it there. So that's electronically submitted, and then you do everything else from there. So I'm referring to the hour certifications needed before you can even take the exam. Once we complete the real estate course, then can we contact your, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Yes. So you would just reach out and contact me, before you move forward and take the exam. Nope, no drug testing. Yep. No drug testing at all. So that doesn't matter. I'm sure actually it's kind of interesting because with the legalization of marijuana in here, there's actually been a lot of classes. Um, there's actually a lot of classes as well teaching real estate agents about that because people are starting to need like a commercial space, and what the laws is around there. But nope, there is no drug testing or anything. It's sad my screen is still. I don't see any other questions here. I will follow up and send you guys an email with some additional information. I'll also include in there some questions that you may want to ask your potential real estate broker if you're going out and interviewing folks. Hopefully, I'll make the list and you come join me. I would love to have you here at Brickhouse Realty. We're growing. We have about 30 agents here in our office. We have some big things happening, especially at the beginning of the year. We have a new training program that we're going to be rolling out that's a little bit more aggressive. And so I would love for you guys to get started right away so you can jump right into that training program that we'll be doing at the beginning of the year. I always check my DM if you're following me on social media or if you want to reach out to me. My direct cell phone number, I'll put that in here as well. If you have additional questions, feel free to reach out. But outside of that, thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you guys on this other side of real estate. Have a good day.